Hey fam, welcome back to Peaceful Power 101. Or hey there, if it's your first time. Today we're diving deep into something raw and real. Breaking before blessing. Ever feel like life's tearing you apart just when you thought you were holding it together? One day you're dreaming big, picturing the stars, and the next you're picking up shards and wondering what hit you. Sound familiar? I've been there, but here's the thing. The Bible's loaded with this pattern. Real people, real lows, and unreal comebacks. Joseph in a pit, David in a cave, Jesus on a cross. It's not just old stories, it's a blueprint for you and me. Whether you're deep in faith, just dipping your toes, or here for some straight-up wisdom, this is your space. We're unpacking a deep dive of truth to flip your why me into watch me rise. Hit that like if you're ready to turn chaos into gold. Subscribe if you're here for the ride. Let's roll. Life's got this rhythm, doesn't it? It breaks you before it builds you. It's not some cosmic prank, it's biblical, woven into the fabric of how God works. Take Joseph, flip open Genesis 37 in this beat-up journal of mine. He's 17, dreaming of greatness, stars bowing to him, and his brothers? They're not fans, they chuck him in a pit, sell him off like he's nothing. That's a breaking moment, cold, dark, betrayed. Years roll by, slavery in Egypt, prison bars, false accusations piling up. He's forgotten by everyone but God. Then Genesis 41:41 hits. Pharaoh hands him the keys to Egypt, second in command. Genesis 50:20 seals the deal. You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good. That pit wasn't the end, it was the warm-up. Joseph goes from shackles to saving nations, feeding the world in famine. Breaking stripped him down so the blessing could build him up. Ever had a pit moment? A job gone, a friend lost, a dream crushed? That's not the finale, it's the forge. Then there's David. Check 1 Samuel 23. He's anointed king, God's pick, but he's dodging spears from Saul, crashing in caves, dirt under his nails. Ever felt that low? I have, nights where the roof felt like it was caving in. Psalm 34:18 drops this lifeline. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. David's crushed, hunted like a dog, yet he's scribbling psalms in the dark. That breaking? It's forging a warrior, a poet, a king. He doesn't just survive, he thrives, leading Israel to glory. Or think of Hannah, 1 Samuel 1. She's barren, mocked by her rival, weeping at the temple till her voice gives out. Total breaking. But she prays through it, raw and real, and God gives her Samuel, a prophet who shifts a nation's course. The pattern's screaming at us. Breaking's not God saying no, it's him saying, not yet. Your heartbreak, your why now, it's not punishment, it's preparation. What's breaking you today? Hold that, we're not done. So why's it gotta sting so bad? Can't we fast forward to the good stuff? I've begged that question, fists clenched, staring at a ceiling that won't answer. But pain's got a job. Romans 5:3-4 lays it out plain. We rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. It's not fluffy church talk, it's fact. Pain's the gym for your soul, each rep making you tougher. Look at Job, Job 1. Loses his kids, his wealth, his health in one brutal swoop. Boils on his skin, friends bailing, sitting in ashes, breaking central. But Job 42:10 flips the script. The Lord restored his fortunes and gave him twice as much as he had before. Double for the trouble, pain prepped him for that. I've seen it in my own mess. Lost a gig once, thought it was over, but it pushed me to something better. Then there's Jesus, John 12:24. Unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it bears much fruit. His breaking's the heaviest, betrayal by Judas, nails through his hands, a tomb sealing him in. But that death, it's the seed for redemption, billions finding life. That's purpose with a capital P. Not into faith, still tracks. Ever met someone who's never struggled? They're flat, shallow, pain carves depth, makes you real. Maybe you're breaking over a dream that tanked, a relationship that ghosted you. Romans 8:28 whispers through the noise, all things work together for good to those who love God. Even the ugly, jagged stuff. It's not trash, it's treasure in the rough. What's your pain building in you? Think on that. Let's grab some biblical ammo. Quotes to cling to when you're breaking. Isaiah 55:8-9 is a big one. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways. You're stuck in the mud, cursing the rain. God's got the skyline view, plotting the sun. Trust that perspective. Psalm 30:5's another. Weeping may tarry for the night, but joy comes with the morning. Tears, they've got a timer. Joy's on the clock. 2 Corinthians 4:17 hits hard. For this light momentary affliction is preparing for us an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison. That fight you're in, it's a feather next to the glow up coming. Jeremiah 29:11's a classic. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Breaking's in the playbook. It's not chaos, it's calculated. Lamentations 3:22-23 keeps me grounded. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Fresh mercy every dawn. Ain't that a lifeline? Moses lived it. 40 years in Midian, herding sheep, breaking in obscurity before the burning bush lights up his call. Esther too, orphaned, scared, then queen saving her people. These quotes carried them through the dark. I've leaned on them. Psalm 35 got me through a night I thought wouldn't end. Which one's carrying you? Drop your fave in the comments. Let's build each other up. Ever feel stuck in a wilderness? Like nothing's growing, no exit sign, just dust and waiting? That's breaking too. Barren, brutal, but biblical. Look at the Israelites, Exodus 13. Freed from Egypt, chains off, but then 40 years wandering before the promised land. Deuteronomy 8:2 explains it. The Lord your God has led you these 40 years in the wilderness, that he might humble you, testing you to know what was in your heart. That breaking, hunger, doubt, circling nowhere wasn't punishment. It was prep for a land flowing with milk and honey. They grumbled, sure, but God was forging a nation. Or Elijah, 1 Kings 19. He's running from Jezebel, hiding in a cave, begging to die. Total breaking. God meets him, not with thunder, but a whisper. Go back, anoint kings. That wilderness reset him for a mission bigger than he dreamed. I've had wilderness seasons, months where every door slammed shut, silence deafening. But Isaiah 40:31 promises, but they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. That dry spell's stretching your wings, not clipping them. Your wilderness. Maybe it's a dead-end job, a prayer unanswered, a season of when. It's not forever. It's holy ground, prepping you for the promise. What's your wilderness teaching you? It's not wasted, it's weight. Sometimes breaking's about pride, shattering what's blocking the blessing. Nebuchadnezzar, Daniel 4. King of Babylon strutting like he's untouchable. God warns him, ease up. He doesn't. Boom, 7 years eating grass, mind gone, a beast in the wild. Breaking. Daniel 4:37's his comeback. Now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and extol and honor the King of heaven, for all his works are right. That fall taught him who's boss. Humility opened the door. Paul's another, 2 Corinthians 12:7. Thorn in his flesh, some nagging pain, begging God to yank it. God's answer? My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Breaking his self-reliance, let grace flood in. Pride's sneaky. Maybe you're breaking because you've been hauling it all solo, thinking you've got this. Proverbs 3:5-6 cuts through. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. I've been there, thought I could muscle through, till life cracked me open. That split, it's where blessing seeps in. Ever had pride break you wide? Tell me below, it's real talk. Here's the payoff. Breaking's the pregame, blessing's the prize. Job got double, wealth, family, more than before. Hannah got Samuel, a nation changer. The widow in 2 Kings 4, broke, Kids on the line, Elisha says, fill some jars. Oil flows till she's rich. Breaking flipped to overflow. Peter, Luke 22, denies Jesus 3 times, gutted by guilt. John 21, Jesus restores him. Feed my sheep. From failure to church cornerstone. Your blessing's not off the shelf, it's custom. Stay in it. Lamentations 3:25. The Lord is good to those who wait for him, to the soul who seeks him. Psalm 37:4. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Joseph's pit, palace vibes. David's cave, a crown. The Israelites' wilderness, a homeland. Your storm's got a flip side, maybe a new gig, a healed soul, a calling you'd never guess. Practical move, reflect daily. Ask, what's this breaking teaching me? Jot it in a journal, mine's full of those scribbles. Psalm 27:14. Wait for the Lord, be strong, and let your heart take courage. I've waited, lost a friend, thought it'd kill me, but it birthed this fire. Your blessing's not late, it's loading. What's one thing you're trusting God for? Let's hash it out below. Breaking before blessing, it's God's signature move. Pits to palaces, wilderness to wings, pride to praise. You're not falling apart, you're falling into purpose. This deep dive, it's your nudge. The Bible's alive, speaking to your now. I've walked this, scars proof, journals full of it. Like this, if it stirred you, it spreads the hope. Drop an amen, a verse, or your story in the comments. I'm reading everyone. Subscribe for more weekly motivation, faith, wisdom, and grit to carry you. Share this with someone breaking. They need this light. Life's wild, but you're wilder because he's with you. Catch you next time. Keep rising, fam.